Really good for the kids and really good for the sport as well. So obviously this is one step in being able to do that and support the clubs in that way. So I'll give you a little brief background on myself. So my name's Josh. So I'm the events and pathways coordinator at Swimming Victoria. So I actually work remotely from Mildura, which borders New South Wales and Victoria, so right at the top of the state. So literally the furthest you can get from Melbourne. So yeah, I've been involved in clubland, call it, for quite a while. I've been the competition officer for quite a few years at the local club, Mildura Swimming Club, and then also at the district level as well, and many other roles as well. But definitely the competition officer was definitely something that I enjoyed. But yeah, so I'm obviously across what happens in the club environment. So if you have any questions, please just shoot a message in the chat or take your mic off mute and just ask anything. But yeah, pretty much the way I learnt Meet Manager was just fiddling. That was literally just it, just fiddling through the system. All self-taught. I feel you can read as much as you want into it, but it's a bit of a complex program sometimes. But yeah, we'll try and debunk that a little bit today. So the topics that we'll go over. So there's 5 sort of major or main topics. We'll delve into all of them. So how to set up a meet on Meet Manager. So this could be a club night, time trial, a non-qualifying competition or a qualifying competition. Within that, how to manually enter any swimmers as well. So the classic thing, if someone enters late, that's always happens at competitions. And then also I'll briefly touch on, just mentioned before that you guys did a Swim Central webinar last week. So I'll briefly touch on just how to import the meet into Swim Central as well and see how easy it actually is to do. And then from there, importing the entries from Swim Central then into Meet Manager. And then it's the same process from like a team manager file or anything like that as well. And then just go over a little bit of, I guess, meet day operation stuff as well. So, importing results and Meet Mobile setup. But yeah, I'll be sharing my screen and working through Meet Manager. So if you have any questions, again, just yell out. But if you have Meet Manager handy, feel free to follow along with me or just, take notes. So I've got 2 screens going on at the moment. I'm just going to move these across. And then hopefully share my screen. Right. Hopefully we can see that, because now I've lost you guys and cannot see you guys. Yep, there we go. Now you're back. Now we're back. Beautiful. All right, good. So obviously this is Meet Manager. So for tonight, we'll just go over the very basics. So if you know Meet Manager, you might pick up on something. It might be stuff that you already know. We'll see. Hey. So anyway, so this is obviously the Meet Manager homepage. So we'll just go over how to set up a new meet and a new competition. So basically, just from here, it's when you open it up, you just go to file, open. So open-new. Sorry, my computer's very slow. And then it will pop up with a box here. So this is from my last webinar I did. So let's say we're going to go March 2023. So down here is what you want to name the competition. So in the file name, so I'm just going to call it Mildura Club Night March 2023. So we open that one there. So that's obviously, you can see that's creating the database, and it depends what level of Meet Manager you have. If you've got the highest level, the pro version will pop up with this. If you don't, it won't. Just click OK. Good. And then automatically, when you start up a new meet, it will pop up with the meet setup menu. So basically, this is all the information about the competition that you need to put in. So from here, obviously the meet name. So we had the Mildura Club Nights, March 2023, and then you'll put the facility name in, Mildura Waves, and then you can put the address in if you would like. It's not really needed, but it does come up on, same as obviously the meet name and the facility name. That's what comes up on Meet Mobile when you publish. So if you're going to write it in, make sure it's correct, because we don't want any complaints by people. City, Mildura, and then obviously here I'm going Victoria for the state, and then postcode 3500, and then here's where we go through our start date. So let's say, so that's obviously, we click on this here for a drop down menu of the calendar. We just tap this here to move it over a month. Let's say we're going to do it on Friday the 17th. We then have to manually change all of these as well. Just because we've changed the start date doesn't mean it will, unfortunately, doesn't mean it will automatically change all the rest. So just have to move that there across there. So see, now that's the same as the age update. So the age update is what you want the swimmer's age to be on the day. So, it might be, I know for school carnivals, for example, they usually set it at like the 31st of December at the end of the year. Whereas like, obviously that's not majority of us, and probably not doing school carnivals. So it would generally most meets are set on the competition day. And then for the entry open day, it sort of depends, I guess, when you want your entries to open. If you are talking about Swim Central here as well, if you want them to open as soon as you upload into Swim Central, you would just generally, if it's a 28th today, I usually chuck it back a few weeks, just so you know that it's gonna 100% be open when you load it into Swim Central as well. And then entry deadline, obviously that is yours and the club's decision, but let's make it the Monday the 13th. So down here, we then go through our ID format. So obviously Australian swimming, unless you're overseas for some reason, you wouldn't choose Australia. Host LSC, so that's your state. Obviously you guys are WA, but choosing Vic because I'm in Vic. For the class, so here again, it depends if it's a state meet or anything like that, state championship meet. Usually you would and you've got para included, you'd also go para swimming. But if it's not, you just click age group generally. Just pretty much just leave majority of this stuff same as that. And if it's a long course meet, short course meet, or in yards, I know around my area we've got 30-yard pools, which is like 33 meters, something like that. So we use some of that sometimes. What else have we got? And then time adjustment method as well. So just based on the FINA rules. And then the other thing as well, just to take note of, that if you're using touch pads, just make sure that you know if you're using them at both ends or not. I know if you're, for example, if you didn't have this ticked, it would register, and it's a 100-meter freestyle, for example, it would register the 50-meter split time as the 100-meter time at the end. So that's quite a little key one, and that just automatically defaults every single event that you create on Sim Central as well. But we're not running touchpads for this mock meet, so we're all good. And then Meet Mobile Publishing will then pop up. We'll skip this for now. I personally, this is just my personal preference, like to not publish until Meet Mobile until like everything is 110%. Because I don't know, sometimes it stuffs around and duplicates clubs and athletes and all that sort of stuff. So and sometimes that might be on actual event day. But yeah, anyway, so just going through adding events into the competition. So we'll see up here, got the events menu. And obviously we don't have anything set up at the moment. So I'll go into, so pretty much from here, we just literally click on add. I'll set up a few different events with different formats and everything that, that a competition could have. Yeah, so basically, Stephen, can you add me? Yes, you can. Up to 7 days, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's up to 7 days of the meet you can publish on Meet Mobile, but I think anything after that, I don't think you can. Oops. And then, so yeah, from add new event. So obviously, if it's individual relay, you got that choice there. And then the event number that automatically increases every single event that you import. Obviously, gender depends the terminology you want to use with girls, boys, women's, men. Or if you're going to run a mixed event, which I'll talk about that a little bit later, and being able to score that and put that back to age group and gender if it's a mixed event and open. So yeah, let's just say we're going to run a girls. We're going to make a custom age group. Let's say it's going to be a 14 and under. And then I don't know why it sometimes doesn't work. You have to click custom again. And you would see in this box here, it would say 14 and under. And that's what this event will be. Yeah, 100 freestyle. And yeah, generally most club meets are time finals. Through this here, again, this multi-age group, I'll talk about this later in regards to the open events and everything, what you can run with that. Up to you if you want to score the event or not. Having it ticked isn't going to stuff the meet up. Having it not ticked isn't really going to stuff the meet up either, because if you're going to, there's a button on the run menu where you can just click score again and it overwrites this button anyway. So it's pretty pointless. So the entry fee, you can obviously charge however much you want with that. Assigning lanes, I don't really like to assign the lanes in this here. I will show you another way to do that. If you got a 6-lane pool or 10 lane, 8 lanes, whatever it is. But yeah, and then just usually standard for that. And then again, where's that? This one here. So the pads at both ends. If we tick that at the setup menu, that would automatically be ticked. But obviously it's not at the moment because we didn't set that as our default. And then this alt gender as well. So you'll see here, we'll click OK. Then automatically event 2, it's just automatically switch to boys. And then it just keeps switching back. So it just make that part's a little bit easier for that. So now you can either click cancel or the exit button. Doesn't really matter. They'll both save even if you click the cancel. And you'll see those both 2 events are listed in there. Now I'll just go over the open and mixed event now. So I know like there might be some clubs that have it might be low number of swimmers, or it might be a low number of swimmers at a competition as well, and it might have like three people per heat or something like that, and you want to make it a little bit more exciting or something, and have mixed events. So for this one here, would have mixed, and if it's open, so it'll be open, so open to any age group. Any age group for that there, and let's say it's a 200 medley. For this one here, you would tick multi-age group, and then this box will pop up here. So with this here, you will then set up the ages that you would like the results to go back to. So for example, if we're doing a 11 and under event, so it will be 0 to 11. So that will be the 11 under event. Then you just click tab, which is the easiest way. And then if we're going to go 12 to 13, 14 to 15, 16 to 17, and then we're doing an 18 and over, and then we just leave that one there blank. Then we'll go into OK, and then we'll see here, again, it's then done this here. And then when you print out the results, all of them will say event 3, but it'll change back to, and I'll get it up actually, but it will, where is it? In reports, in events, and then expand the multi-ages. It's loading. There we go. And we'll be able to see, obviously, this is event 3, but we can see we had the boys and girls and boys 11 and under. That's those same age groups and that for that. Just saw a chat come through. Hold up. Would a single age group be 9 to 9? Yeah, you can do whatever you want with the age groups. It's completely up to you. So if you're running, hold on, I'll go back into it. So you can do, 9 to 9, 10 to 10. You can even go like a 11 to 16, for example, and I'll show you that. And then, I don't know what. Oh, no, got to be under, I think. Yeah, I think that's got to be an under. I don't know what just happened then. Anyway, oh, no, because it's open. There we go. Yeah, so with that one there, hold up, I'll go. Yeah, so I think it's got to be it's got to be like a 9 and under event, and then it would go 11, and then you can go 12 to 16, and then it would have to be a 17 and over event sort of thing for that there. And there's no overlap. I have no idea what I've just done there. But anyway, that's just stuffed around. Classic meet manager sometimes. Good. So that's that. But generally, you don't really overlap the age groups. It's usually like a 9, 9, 10, 10 sort of thing. Yeah. So I will, yeah, so that's pretty much that there. And then same thing, I'll just go through just a few other events. If we're just doing a 13-year-old, so 13 to 13, and we'll see that is just the 13-year-old. Girls doing a breaststroke. Again, okay. Sorry, because we had multi-age pick. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. And then okay again. And we'll see the girls 13-year-old 200-meter breaststrokes listed there. The next thing, so let's just say this is all the events that it's going to be. The next thing that we would do is go into sessions and then create a session. So this is how we also get the timeline and everything through here. So we'd go to add, and then you can create the session title. Again, this comes up in Meet Manager, in Meet Mobile when you go into it. So you can name it whatever you want, but you can just name it the club, the Mildura. I can't remember what I named this meet now. Mildura March time trial. I'm just going to call it that because I've forgotten. Then we're going to say the start time. So it's important for this one here. Again, talking on Swim Central here, that the start time is correct because that's what loads into Swim Central as well, and that's what the time comes up on Swim Central as. And obviously, if it's not the right time, people might be rocking up to the competition not at the right time, so we don't really want that. So let's say it's we had a 6 p.m. start, so that's PM interval. So this is how long between each heat it'll take for the next heat to go into the water. So on average, usually around 30, 40, 45 seconds, sort of depends how fast it is. If it is just a relaxed sort of club competition, it might be 40 to 50 seconds or something like that. So let's just stick it, 45 seconds. So that's all that, and then same thing with extra backstroke intervals, because obviously they blow the referee blows the whistle, they get into the water, they blow the whistle again, so those are those extra few seconds with that one there. And then same thing here, just you choose if it's long course, short course, or yards, and if this here is where you would include how many, like your max entries. So if you want to set the maximum amount to 3 entries per person or 3 individual entries per person and 1 relay, and then you just write obviously 4 there, but we're not going to restrict these guys to anything, so we're going to go okay. And same thing, or it comes up with session 2, but saying we can just click cancel with that there, and we'll see we've got all of these meets here. But let's say we're actually going to run a 2-day competition or a 2-session competition as well. So let's say, we'll do a March time trial session 2, and then you can choose the day when you're doing this here as well. So let's just say it's the first day, And then start time, obviously it's not going to be a 9 p.m. start time, but that's just what that's what we're going to go with. Okay, and then we see that session 2 is here. So if we're going on to session 1, and let's say the boys and girls 100-meter freestyle is going to be at that one there, and then session 2 we're going to have the 200s in on that there, and we'll see the 2 different sessions we'll pull through. But generally, you only sort of set that up if it's going to be a 2-day competition. You don't really have to set up that if it's not going to be that. So from here, I'm just going to have a quick look. Yeah, so from here, what you do to export into Swim Central, which is what I'll show you now, and exporting the entries and everything. So what you would do is you go to File, you go to Export, and you just go Events for TM. So which is Team Manager, but the same document still loads into Swim Central and loads into there. So this other pop up here. So it'll just go over everything. So meet updates here, age update is here, the start date's here. If you're charging anything per athlete or whatever, and the max entry so far that we set up in the session table, we'll click yes. And then here you can choose, obviously, if you want short course meters and yards to be converted to long course or not. This time we're not. We're just going to say we just want long course times to be in this program. We click OK, and then we'll see here, we then we can then choose where we're going to save the folder. So open folder path. And it's a very old sort of system to be able to marry your way through it. So let's just say we're going to save it up to here. Okay. And we see that it's been saved on my computer now, and that's this meet events, this one here, is the name of the file. So from here, we'll go into Swim Central. Can you guys see that? Yep, love it. So from here, this is just in a test, so it's actually not the real Swim Victoria account. So from here, literally all we'll do, we'll go into events. So you can either click here, or you can click on the events here. We'll click on create an event, meet manager event, and then when you guys are up on Swim Central later in the year, you guys will have different templates. I know every state has different templates, but we've got a non-approved club meet one. So if clubs are wanting to run a non-approved competition, an approved Victorian competition, so that's just usually a club competition that that is going to be qualifying, or a proposed going to be qualifying at least, and state championships, which is just used by obviously Swimming Victoria for our competitions. So for here, let's say we're going to have a approved Vic competition. So you can see it automatically comes up with this here, upload meet manager zip, and it automatically pops up with the folder. So we go meet manager, and then just cannot try and find, yeah, and we saved it here. So meet events, and we'll do a club night March 2023. So we'd open that, we see that the meet manager file is loaded, we go to next. And then it's just that this part just takes us through a little bit of a file review. So again, if event name's good, the start date and that start time, like it is how we set up in the session report before, and obviously if it's long course, the age update that we set up as well. And then we'll be able to see here how we had those 2 different sessions that we set up. In this one here, we had the 100 freestyle session 1 starting at 6 o'clock, and then session 2 starting at 9 o'clock. And we have obviously that 200 IM, which was then that multi-age split. So we can see here that it's event 3, but that goes 3A, 3B, 3C, so on, and has all of that. And then obviously our 200 breaststroke here. From there, you just go to next. That loads. Yeah, and then you just fill out your contact details and everything. Just say we're doing that there. And then say it's going to be at Mildura, and then you can choose if you want to allow refunds or not for the competition. And then here again is where you choose where you want the nomination opening or closing for the event. So remember we set that back because we wanted it to open straight away on Sim Central. So we set that back a few weeks. So we know that that's going to open straight away. And now we had that set on the 13th, which is that Monday night. Monday night, 6 p.m. That'll do. And then if you want to write any, event information, that's here. And then you select here what the event timing will be used. So if you're using touchpads, it's going to be electric. If it's, your Dolphin system or something like that, it's going to be semi-electronic, or if it's just stopwatches, manual. For this part here, so pretty much you just leave this here as is. So you allow the minimum result timing to be manual, because there might be a competition that has results that are manual timing, and someone might have got a time from a manual time. And if you restrict it to only results, or only people can enter only people can enter, especially if it's a qualifying competition with only an event that had touchpads. It's obviously restricting that there. So you would keep that at manual. And then if you are running I don't know why these automatically tick, but they do. You wouldn't want to have any unverified event results or any unapproved event results. Yeah, eight lanes. Yeah, that's fine with that there. Yep. And then next. And then here is where you can set up that people have an actual membership to be able to enter in the event as well. So let's say we're just going to filter, and we just want Swimming Victoria members to register. So and it's a swimmer as well. We just want swimmers to register. So every swimmer when you register, this membership gets attached to your profile. And if you obviously don't have these two memberships attached, you can't enter in the event pretty much. So that's that. So you go to next. Don't have to worry about any of that. We set that up in Meet Manager. And here is just an event summary. You just look over everything that you need to, and then let's just publish from there, and then publish the event, just making sure that everything's all good. And then it should pop up with the screen saying, yep, your event is published. So we'll go back to view event details, and then I'll grab this here. So this is event link, and I'll just show you this here quickly. Hoping this will work. Yep, beautiful. So we'll be able to see here. So obviously Mildura Club Night, March 2023, and this is what the swimmers would see when they log into their profile to be able to enter. So obviously I'm over 18. It's the only event that I've got for myself. So, and we can see that it's free. We just literally add to cart, make payment, even though it is $0. You don't have to type in your bank details or anything for this. You just go, oh no, on test you do actually. On this platform you do, but on the normal Swim Central you don't. And then you just have to click buy now, and then that entry will be in. So enough about Swim Central. We'll go back into this here now. Actually I will go back into Swim Central. So for the event as well, I'll go back into admin. So you can see we've now got one live event in here as well. So when swimmers enter, we'll be able to see a dashboard. It has a dashboard here of how much revenue and everything that your club's made from the entries, total attendees, how many your club has. This button here is what sends you the entry list to be able to import into Meet Manager. So you'll just click on that there, and then you can see that it's been queued for email delivery, and it gets sent to your email that's linked with your Swim Central account. Usually that takes like 2 or 3 minutes depending on how big the meet is, to be able to get sent to you. So from here, I'm just going to open up another meet that I have that's blank. I think I've got this one here. Yep. Does anyone have any questions at all while I'm taking a drink?
I might just take the opportunity to jump in with the whole Swim Central stuff. Obviously, WA isn't on there yet, so a lot of that information from Swim Central will be really new to a lot of you.
Yeah, for sure.
We do have some webinars and some face-to-face training for our club administrators coming up in the next couple of months. So if you don't understand that all now, that's okay. We will work through it with you guys as we move a little bit closer to the transition. And maybe some of the terminology, like non-conforming, unconverted times, all of that sort of stuff, that might be a bit different to what we are used to as well. But we are working on a bit of a terminology list for you guys. So if any of the terminology doesn't make sense, bear with us. We know because it didn't make sense to us at the beginning, but the more you get used to it, and the more you understand all of those changes, it'll make a lot of sense. But we are working on a bit of a list to help you guys out as well. So just be aware of that. And if you do have any questions about your events on MSR or how to upload them or anything like that, send me an email afterwards and I can step you through that as well. But like I said, we thought we'd take the opportunity to introduce you guys to events on Swim Central just very, very briefly. So back to you, Josh.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah, so on here, so obviously I've set up another event here that we actually had in December, and it's got a few different ones. So this is all, or it should be all blank, so we shouldn't have any athletes in here at all. I'll just double check that. Yep, so no athletes at all. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to import our entries. So from that button that we clicked on Swim Central, it then all compiles together, sends us a zip file. So from here, we then just go into File, we go into Import here. Just have to hover over it, don't have to click on it, and then we'll just click on Entries. From here, wherever you saved it, that will be in here. So you can see I've got Mildura Open nominations, and we'll just click on Open for that one there. And then we'll see, that's fine. Click OK, and then it'll pop up with another box, and then we'll double click on that one there. So that's the HY3 file that's needed to be able to load everything in. And we'll see here that this is all the file information. So we just click OK. Same with this here. Generally, it's usually those two top ones and the bottom ones that are ticked. Don't have to really worry about that there unless it applies to your specific meet. And we'll just click OK, and then we'll be able to see what the import was. So we can see we had 9 teams, 39 athletes, 191 entries, or 191 splashes, as you could also call it. And then you import finished, and we'll click OK. From there, we'll be able to see in athletes here, should be able to see the full list when it pops up. Yep, so we'll be able to see the full list of all the swimmers and what they're entered in and their entry times and everything with that. So I'll touch on a little bit what we would do if someone was to enter late, because we all know it always happens at competitions. always happens. So literally from here, sorry, I went a bit fast then. From here, you just click on add. And we'll just enter myself in a competition. So we'll go last name Barila, first name Josh, and then again, just you can just use the tab on your keyboard just to switch through all these. Birth date 02/02/01, and then it will automatically calculate the age as well. And then obviously this is a meet from December, so that's why, and the age update is set for December. That's why that's set for there. And we can see if they're obviously they might not be with Mildura, they might be with a different club, but we'll save it from Mildura. And then here you just literally double click, say 200 free. Let's give me a good time, hey? So 200 free, that there. So we can see that then has automatically entered that one there, and we'll just keep on going down, and we can see 50. Whoop, no. And then obviously if it's a bit crazy, so if it's like a 50, that will come up as a 50 milliseconds sort of thing. So you have to just put 50 , 0, 0, and we'll see that there. So okay. And again, you can click exit or you can click cancel. It doesn't really matter. You'll be able to see that's updated, and then those 3 events are now listed there. So from here, actually, I'll go into relays as well. I'll touch on relays. So relays is up in this corner here. So generally, I'm not too sure how you guys would enter a relay, whether that be a few days before. I know on Swim Central you can enter online, or if it's just a club competition, you would just enter on the night as well. So you just go relays. I hope I set up relays in this. I think I did. Yep, so beautiful. So we can see there's 2 relays here. So mixed medley, mixed freestyle. So let's say we're going to put together a team from Mildura, and we can see there is only 3 swimmers. So we obviously cannot put a team in from Mildura. Maybe Broken Hill can be able to put in a team, hey? Yeah, Broken Hill could put in a team. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4. So them 4 are going to be all in there, and if we got Austin Clavel, so we'd be able to see here. If we show relays, we'll be able to see here as well that he has been entered in a 200 freestyle relay on here as well. So from here, we're basically just making the meet program and what we do from there. So what we do is we come back to the main menu here. We click on seating. And then generally we click on all events. When we do the seating, we'll click select all. Look, you can if you want, and if you have time, you can. If you really want to click them all, but that's just wasting wasting time. You click select all, and then just start seating. And then you can see seating completed, number of events seated 15. And we can see that there is no one. We didn't have because we didn't put an entry in for the 200 medley. There isn't anything there. So we'll get out of that there. And now the meet program's all done, all sorted. So we can go to reports. We'll go to meet program. And then same thing, we'll just go that one there, all events, select all, create report. And we'll be able to see that the meet program has then been done. So that's from the seeding side of things. Probably just a note as well, and I only learned this because I made this error myself, is that if you have multiple people that have no times, and for example, you've already sent out the meet program, and then someone comes back to you and is like, oh, I would like to enter, in this event, and then you need to reseed. What you would do in this here, so and multiple people have like no times, it would actually reseed the whole event and then put them in different lanes to what the program was already published as. So it would like reshuffle everyone because they don't have a seed time. So what you do with there, and I'll show you, I might grab who we don't have in here. Yep. So I'll grab, so let's say we can see in the program there is lane 8 free. So from here we'd go into athletes, and we're going to put Jasmine in the 200 freestyle. So we select this one here, and then heat dash lane. So we know that, they're in heat 1, and we know the lane 3 is lane 8. And we'll just click over here, and that's been done there. Now we'll go back into our program, create the report again. When it loads, there we go. And we'll be able to see here without disrupting any of the other no times or anything like that. Obviously, there's a few people in there that has times, but if you're running like an encouragement meet or something like that, there will probably be a lot of people who don't, and just a lot of confusion with new parents that have been sent a program and they're like, oh, it's been changed and everything. And yeah, we can see there's been no disruption here at all, and she's just slotted straight in for there. Saw the message there from Leanne for how do you scratch an event. So yeah, so this is the run menu here. So I'll show you this one here. Oh, sort of depends. If Leanne, do you mean on the actual day of competition, or do you mean beforehand? I might just show both. Might just show both. That might be on the day. On the day. Okay. I'll do that next. I'll go into that next. But if you're gonna scratch someone beforehand, what you can do if we want to scratch Jasmine out of the 200 freestyle that we just put her in, we just re-tick that box, remove athlete, and then she's then removed from the program. So I'll go on to another event that I've created. I think it's this one here. So this one here, I believe, has a few results in it and a few that are scored and a few that are not. So here you'll just go to run. This is the normal screen that you would be on when you're running the actual competition on the day. So as you can see, all the 200 freestyles already been scored. The placing's already been done. So we'll click, if you're scoring events, you'll click on that score button there and you'll be able to see it's listed, and it's that same as that multi-age setup, and you'll be able to see here in the actual results that all of them are event one. They're all trying freestyle, but they are different age groups, and it has broken them down into that as well. Obviously, they weren't the actual results. I've just chucked in random numbers. So with that one there, so let's say the 50-meter freestyle, and a pretty good practice to get into when you're actually running the competition on the day is the person who's on the meet manager system is also watching the racing as well and seeing who's behind the blocks or seeing who's in the water and actually removing them at the time, only because especially if there's dolphin, like the semi-automatic timing system involved, the room for error is quite high, with especially if timekeepers pressing the button by accident. It always happens, and then it pulls through that result for that person, and then they might have not even been there for the whole entire day, and they still got a result in the 50-meter freestyle or something. So you'll be able to see like event one, if we don't have, let's say I've scratched, literally all you got to do, it even pops up there. You can just double click them, and then you just scratch me up from heat 1 lane 2. Yes, and then see I'm gone straight away. Now if you accidentally, let's say that was an accident, and you all meant to remove Molly instead of me, what you do is you go to adjust here, and you'll be able to see it'll pop up with all of the heats here, but you'll be able to click on show eligible athletes, and you'll be able to see there's all athlete that's entered. You'll be able to grab me here. You'll be able to, call it little fishy. There's a little fish. And then you'll be able to drag me back up to here. And then I'm back in there. You click save. And then I'm back in again. Okay, so and it does happen on competition day as well. Like it can happen very easily, especially if you're in a rush. For the actual manually entering on the day as well, that was the same thing. Yep, with that there, manually entering on the day of there. Same with relays as well. If you're going to do relays on the day and manually entering them, you can either just seed the whole event, or if there's a late entry, you can just go here and then same heat lane. There's a free lane in lane 6, heat 1 lane 6, and we'll enter them in there. For that one there, so what was the other thing I was going to say? For if you're running Dolphin or running anything like that, you would have the system plugged in and everything. I don't obviously on this computer right now, but whenever you reset the timers, it comes up with a file number where all the times get saved under. What you would do is you literally just click on get times. Obviously, I don't have no results found on here. And you'd find the results number and you would import that in, or pop up with a box that says, and you just click accept and you click OK for it all to import, and then all the times just pop up straight in here. Quite a simple thing. And the other thing as well, so if we're going to do a combined event as well on the day. So if let's say we're going to put 9 and 14 together, So I think I already moved them. Yep, I already moved them. So let's say the 400-meter freestyle is going to be in lanes 1, 2, and 3. And the 200 backstroke is going to be in lanes 8, 7, and 6. Now, you can get that file number, like I mentioned before. So let's say if it's file number 32, you would import file number 32 in here, and then it will only record the time, only import the times for these three, and then you'd get the file number 32, and you'd import it in this event as well, and it will tell you, you've already imported this file. Are you sure you want to proceed? You click yes, and same thing. It'll only import these 3 times here for the results. So that's probably the easiest way to be able to do a combined event, especially if it's on the fly and on the day of competition where you don't have time to be able to, do a few things. So I'll just quickly go back into the other one and talk about Meet Mobile very briefly, and then that'll pretty much be it. So for Meet Mobile, what you do, you go setup. I'm hoping this is going to work. Meet Mobile publish. There we go. There's your answer. Not available more than 7 days after the meet. There we go. that was the answer to the first question. So obviously can't. I might be able to actually. Give me 1 second. Be able to get this one here, I reckon. Yeah, so from here we'd go to setup, Meet Mobile Publishing. Yep, that's fine. What we'll do from here, obviously this has already been published on Meet Mobile. So from here you would go to, it sort of depends what you want to do when you're publishing. If you're selling Meet programs on the day, I would not recommend to put full Meet data, and definitely do not put free heat sheets on, because that just defeats the purpose of you selling the programs. You would just go to restrict heat sheet data. So literally that just means that it will pretty much just be the results would come through, and that's really it. So from there, you just click restrict heat sheet data. You'd view the contract, and then you've got to sign your name and your date of birth for that there. And you just click confirm for that. For publishing, you would sort of depends what you want to do. However, I personally, and for some big competitions, we don't publish team scores on Meet Mobile or anything like that, only because we've just found that there's been a few times that there's been a few discrepancies from the report, that the scores report that comes from Meet Manager, and the report, the scores that come through on Meet Mobile. We don't know why that happens, so we just, instead of having clubs or coaches down our neck about anything about points, regarding that. So that's just my personal opinion. And then this one here as well, display event timeline. That's obviously up to you, but I know with again, for our competitions, and I'll probably speak from my personal experience of running a club night or a club open competition where we had people traveling down. We published a session report online, and then, however, we then also published the event timeline on Meet Mobile, but they didn't match up at all. So Meet Mobile was like, I think it was like an hour or something behind what was said on the session report. So they rocked up at the event what the time on Meet Mobile said, but then obviously the event's already swam. So it's just a bit of a issue, I guess, with that. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. With that there, and then basically you just not republish, you will publish the general Meet information. And then same thing with this here. If you want to publish the psych sheet and heat sheet, again, do not suggest that if you're selling programs. You just click on that one there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. Has anyone got any questions at all? or maybe that I didn't cover. I don't know. Psych sheet. Yep. So psych sheet is the rankings from. I'll pull a report up from this one here. So you go reports and you go to psych sheets. Let's just say we just want this one here, this event here. We can go select all. We don't have to. Create report. And we'll be able to see when it pops up that it's a ranking from who's ranked first in the event to who's ranked last. And obviously we can see the no times as well for swimmers that don't have time. So obviously they're ranked last for that one there. Anything else at all?
Feel free to pop your mics on, guys, if that's easier than typing as well.
Yeah, even any questions about, club nights or anything like that as well. You can literally, well, I know in Vic, I don't know, do you need to get approval from Swimming WA to run a club night? No, don't think so. Nah. Yeah, so yeah, wouldn't have to get approved. Like you can just put together a club night competition. Yeah, for the swimmers at your club. So yeah.
And like I said earlier, guys, if you're not sure of anything on MSR while we're still currently using it, just send me an email with your question as well, and we can spend a bit of time just working that out as well. But if does anyone have any final questions or things that you've thought about as we've gone, or anything you're not sure of that Josh can potentially go over again?
Yeah. If not, just chucked my email address in the chat as well. So if anyone does want to shoot me an email to ask any questions, feel free to. So
Josh, do you normally use a dolphin system?
At club level, yes, we do.
Yep. Okay. We sometimes have trouble trying to get the times in from the dolphin system, and getting the right file and getting it to sync properly, and so we've got about a 50% success ratio. So
Yeah, sometimes I'll stop sharing my screen. Yes, I know we had issues like a few years ago with the Dolphins and that exact thing. I know we found, yeah, I don't know, we finally got it to work the past year or so, but even if you want to shoot me an email of like what exactly it is, it might even be that you're duplicating, that's what we found, duplicating the meet file. So if it was like, if the meet was 004 and then the next event was still 004 and it was like duplicating over the top of other results, and I don't know, it was all over the place. We ended up fixing that, but
yep.
Yeah.
All right, I might send you a note and just get a couple of tips just to go through the steps to make sure it goes right.
Yeah, easy.
Josh, there was a question that just popped up in the chat about DQ codes.
DQ codes.
Yep. Is it custom or FINA on the setup page?
It's a really good question, isn't it? Where are we? Yeah, so hold up. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna quickly run through this. Sorry, it's taking a very long time.
For our club nights, we normally choose custom.
Yeah, we usually. So I'm just looking. Sorry, I'm just looking through our previous meets now. Yeah, we usually go the custom.
So unless you're actually recording the DQs in Meet Manager, it doesn't matter.
Yep. And yeah, that's right. And it could literally, you don't actually have to write in what the DQ or select the category, what the DQ actually is. You can just click DQ and just leave it at that, and that's what will come up in the program. But obviously sometimes the kids would like to see on the results as well why they got DQ'd. So yeah.
Sorry, I asked that question because we tend to use it so our coaches can use it as a guide for correcting kids.
Yeah.
But we found neither the description under custom or FINA match swimming WA's DQ. I guess reasons.
Yeah,
or,
the DP codes,
Yeah.
DQ codes. Yeah. Even potentially what you could do, I know the club nights that I've run in the past, at the end of the night, the officials would, obviously all the DQs get brought to the computer, and they get imported in. But I know what we've done in the past is we will then give those, whether we scan it or we actually give the coaches the actual DQ card themselves, so they can see who it was, and then the person on the computer would actually write down this was for Josh Barila in from Mildura, sort of thing on there. That's just another way you could potentially do it as well. But obviously, got to make sure that you also, as a recorder as well, keeping the record of the DQ, because it might have a parent come up a few weeks later and say, why did my kid get DQ'd? I only saw it now.
So there was a custom DQ file you can download off My Swim Results, which matches the TO cheat sheet that we use on Pool Deck, but it is, from memory, probably 2 sheets old, so it's probably about 3 or 4 rules of which change wording slightly. But yeah, there is a custom DQ file you can download, put in your meet manager, so it'll match what's actually recorded at the meet.
Perfect. Anyone got any last little questions? If not, you can always email me afterwards, and we can work them out tomorrow or the next day as well. But if that's it, we might call it a night. Poor Josh, it is 10 o'clock over in Victoria. So again, we are very thankful that you spent the time with us. The recording will be available in the next couple of days, so we'll make sure that if you need to go over it again, it'll be available on our YouTube page. But thank you very much for attending, guys. Hopefully you learned something. I know I did. I've been writing notes as well, so that always helps. But thanks again, guys, and thanks again to Josh. And if you've got any other questions, guys, you can just shoot us an email a little bit later on, okay? Easy. All right. Have a good night, guys.